I'm gonna try to put it over here visually so you can see it. But we're here, so you can see it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a little bit of a sore throat, so excuse me if I take breaks to get a hit of some chloroseptic for my throat. Today we're doing a comparison between Fierte by Fragrance World and Rifaaqat by Paris Corner, and we're comparing it to the original, which is Babycat by YSL. Let's get into this. So let's talk about bottles first. I absolutely adore this bottle. This bottle is so pretty. This is Fierte. I really like this fox on the top of the bottle. This is so pretty. I really love this bottle. The Rifaaqat one looks more like the original YSL one, except chunkier and shorter. It's more simplistic, more minimalistic, but it does its job. It's more elegant, I guess you would say. But they're both very pretty bottles. They both look great on the shelf. I hope I'm not making noise with the microphone. Let's do a spray. So this is Fierte. Okay. Fierte starts off spicy but very warm and with a lot of vanilla off the top. To me, it is immediately very spicy. It is immediately very warm, very enveloping. It's almost velvety smooth. I really like this scent as it's opening. It feels very inviting. It feels very cozy. It's kind of giving like warmth on the campfire vibes. I really enjoy the scent of this. It is also very sweet, but a subdued sweetness. It doesn't, how do I say this? It doesn't overwhelm you with sweetness, but the sweetness is very present. You can't mistake that it's not there. So it's like a spicy, sweet, comforting, woody scent all together, creating this experience. So those spices are reducing, and what's coming in is some tobacco, some saffron, and some incense to support that vanilla and making it a little bit more complex. But vanilla seems to be the center performer here. It seems to be the most important note. So this is a vanilla forward scent, but it's a warm vanilla. It's a comforting vanilla. It's a very nice vanilla. So it's not an overly sweet vanilla. It's just a very nice vanilla. It's a dirty vanilla. It's like, I like to call it a dirty vanilla because it's not a vanilla that's gourmand. It's more like a vanilla that's not meant to be gourmand. It's meant to be a comforting, airy vanilla. We're gonna do Rifaaqat next. Pressurized atomizer. So Rifaaqat, on the other hand, is very spicy from the get-go. It's extremely spicy. It is almost spicy to the point of sneezing. The vanilla here, all the sweetness here, is playing second fiddle. The main star here, the most important thing, is that spice. This has a mix of peppers in it that makes it a very spicy scent. It makes it very spice forward versus a vanilla forward scent that Fierte is, like we talked about. This is very light and airy, very fresh spicy. It's very on top versus Fierte is very dark and on bottom. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm making sense. So, oh, this is how, so light and airy would be Rifaaqat, and Fierte would be a more heavy scent. It would be a more not marshmallowy, that's not the correct word. Rifaaqat is a more spicy, fresh scent, more aromatic top scent, like it's airy, versus Fierte, which is a more vanilla, more deep scent. It feels heavier in the air. Those are the two differences. So if I would place this in like a spectrum of scents, this will be floating in the top versus this one will be more heavy in the bottom. That doesn't mean like quality. I'm talking about like how it feels like they're floating in the air. This is a heavier, deeper scent versus this is an airier scent that's up here. That's kind of like the vibe that it's giving me. Now let's do Babycat. Put that away before I lose it because it's so small. Babycat to me is honestly kind of in between these scents. it comes off very spicy, but the vanilla is very present. So it is a spicy vanilla. To me, this is very spicy, not a lot of vanilla. To me, this is very vanilla, not a lot of spice. So the Babycat would come and fall in the middle of it. So that's the kind of like trio of things. Rifaaqat would be on top here, Babycat would be here, and then Fierte would be here in terms of spice and aromatic level. So that's kind of like how I would put it in a spectrum. I'm gonna try to put it over here visually so you can see it. But we're here, so you can see it. I'm gonna try to put it. So I'm gonna try to put it here so you can see it visually what I'm talking about. Talking about this more in depth, Fierte, I feel, does more of its own thing. It feels like it deviates more from the original. To me, Fierte feels more like an inspired by rather than a straight up dupe. Every time I do a review, a lot of you ask me about how things compare to other scents, and especially scents that you have. I decided to do a giveaway. How's that gonna work? I created a form that's gonna be in my YouTube description. All you have to do is complete the form, which is writing your name, writing what fragrance you're interested in, and how you want me to contact you. 1 week after I posted that video, I will contact 3 individuals from that form and get their shipping information to send them a 2 milliliter decant of the fragrance I was talking about. If you're not sure that the notes I'm mentioning and the vibe that I'm describing works for you, you can test it out for yourself now. You don't have to blind buy the scent. And then be ready to get your decant in the mail. Fierte feels like it's doing its own thing, feels like it's bringing additional notes like smokiness, like incense, things like that, to make it a thing that stands out separately from Babycat. So I feel like it creates a different experience than Babycat and is its own separate animal. So if you were to like say, oh, how close is it to Babycat? I would say maybe it's like 80%. It shares some of that DNA, but it's not necessarily, they're not twins. To me, Babycat and Fierte are not twins. They're like within the same family structure, but not exactly the same. Rifaaqat, on the other hand, it feels like the younger sibling of Babycat. So Babycat feels a more elevated version of Rifaaqat. Rifaaqat feels more spicy, feels more aggressive than Babycat. It feels more spice forward. It feels like it wants your attention a little bit more than Babycat does. So Rifaaqat feels a little bit more youthful than Babycat, in my opinion. I kind of like Rifaaqat better than both of the other two. Rifaaqat feels more attention grabbing. It feels more compliment getting than Babycat and Fierte is. At first, honestly, when I first sprayed this, I didn't really like it that much, and I let it rest, and this got considerably darker in about 2 months. This was a lot lighter when I originally got it, and it got considerably darker, and it got better. It got more spicy, but the spice kind of like toned down and became less harsh. And I feel like this is a little bit more of a statement than Fierte and Babycat is. That's just my opinion. I don't know, that feels a little bit weird to say because Babycat I think is like $300 or something around those lines. And I think it's very difficult to find. But Rifaaqat is to me, a better statement. It's more of a signature thing than Babycat is. Fierte feels more like something you would wear as an everyday winter scent and a little bit more wearable and less of a statement than Rifaaqat is. I hope that makes sense in terms of scent profiles. So that's my experience while wearing these scents in the wild. As they've dried down a little bit, this is not dried down yet, but as it's drying down a little bit, Rifaaqat still stays spicy, still stays actively youthful, aromatic, very strong. Fierte has completely died down with most of that spice, and the vanilla is very prominent, very shiny. It's very there. It's bright there. And not bright, it's right there and bright. That's what I was trying to say. I mixed those two together. So it's right there and very bright. That's where the vanilla is in Fierte. And the Babycat, after some time, to me, is a deeper vanilla with a lot of spice. So it's kind of in between these two. But like I said, Rifaaqat to me feels like more of a signature scent. It feels more unique than the other two. That's my opinion on this. In terms of notes, let's discuss the notes very quickly. So the notes for Fierte are, the top notes are incense, tobacco, and saffron. The middle notes are spice, elemi, and cedarwood. The base notes are vanilla, benzoin, and tonka. The notes for Rifaaqat are black pepper, elemi, pink pepper. Middle notes are olibanum, saffron, and the base notes are vanilla and cedarwood. So the notes for Babycat are, the top notes are black and pink pepper, black pepper, elemi, pink pepper. Middle notes, olibanum and saffron. And then the base notes are bourbon, vanilla, suede, and cedar. All those are the notes for these three scents. I think, like I said, for Fierte, you can definitely sense that the vanilla is coming out. The tobacco and incense are predominantly there. So it's like a warm vanilla scent is what I'm getting from this as a primary thing, with very little pepper there, because there isn't pepper. Oh, there isn't pepper. So there isn't spice here. It just says spices, but I don't think the spices are supposed to be spicy. So that makes sense. There's no real spice here. So the spices aren't really coming out that much. In this one, it is very spicy. Spicy is the king of the show. So those black pepper, pink pepper are very prominent and don't really go away throughout the experience. Vanilla plays a second fiddle to the spices. Spices are the name of the game for Rifaaqat. For a Babycat, you have that deep bourbon vanilla supported by that suede and those different peppers creating an aromatic experience. So it's a combination of these two different ones. So those are the scent profiles for both. In terms of longevity and projection, Fierte has a very strong projection and it lasts a decent amount of time. It projects about 6 or 7 feet at start, and then by hour 2 or 3, it turns into a bubble of 1 foot. It never really turned into just a skin scent. It always projected something, and it lasted about 8 or 9 hours before I washed it off. So it is a very good longevity. Projection is pretty decent. It's pretty good. So I would say that this would be like a 9 in projection. In terms of a scent, I would give it like a 10 or a 9. It is a very good scent. It is not something that I would call a very super unique scent, but it is a very nice scent. It's a non-gourmand vanilla scent. Like I said, it's, to me, the way I describe these kinds of scents, it's like a dirty vanilla kind of scent, like a vanilla latte kind of scent, that not necessarily coffee, but that vanilla is very prominent, but it's being muted or dirtied up by other scents. Fierte, I would say 10 or 9. I would say 9.5 scent, 8 projection, and 10 longevity. So that's my general vibes of this. Rifaaqat, on the other hand, I would give it 100% a 10 in scent. For longevity and projection, the longevity of this is it lasts all day. To me, by the end of the day, it was still on me. Kind of dies down by hour, maybe 3 or 4, into a bubble around me, but it never turned into like a pure skin scent. So I think Paris Corner and Fragrance World are on top of their game in terms of projection. So it lasted until it got washed off. To me, projection, I would give it like an 8. Again, because it's a projector, but it's not necessarily like the best projector out there. Like, it won't fill a room, it will just project out. Longevity, I would give it a 10. I hope I'm making sense. This is all subjective, so if something doesn't make sense in terms of that, remember, this is not science, this is art. So take everything with a grain of salt. And then Babycat, I've only worn it once because I didn't want to waste the juice. It lasted less than the other two. To me, Babycat lasted about 5 hours, and then I couldn't perceive it on my, I couldn't smell it unless I was hunting for it. So projection, and for longevity, I would give it maybe like a 7. Projection, I think it was more like a 5-foot bubble at the beginning, and then it died down. Like I said, it was gone within 5 hours. So I would give it maybe 7, and then scent, I would give it like a 9. So to me, it's like an 8. Out of all of them, I think I would give it the lowest score. I like it, but again, it's not the best performer. And I don't think it's the most unique scent either. That's my general vibe of these scents. Have you guys tried Babycat, Fierte, or Rifaaqat? Have they impressed you? Which one do you like the best? I'm personally really glad I didn't spend a massive amount of money on Babycat, because I think that these two are a definitely good alternative to those, because even though Fierte is not oh, I forgot to mention, I'm going back. So to me, this is about a 90 to 95% dupe of Babycat. At the beginning, I think at the 2-hour mark, this turns into like a 95%. At the beginning, it's like an 85%, but by dry down, it's very, very similar. Like it would be very difficult to point out which one's which. And I think with more maceration, more maturing in the bottle, this will turn into almost indecipherable when it dries down. But at the beginning, you can definitely tell the difference. As I was saying, these two kind of fit the bill of the same general category as Babycat. So if you had any of these two, I think you would be generally satisfied about filling up that category. Maybe both of these two, because I think this one fills that bill more, and this one feels more of a dirty vanilla or a vanilla with personality. That's my general thoughts and vibes of these. Do you agree with me in terms of my judgment of which one's better and which one's closest to Babycat? Remember that sense of subjective. What I perceive isn't necessarily what you perceive. Just because I prefer one doesn't mean you're going to prefer the same one. Remember to always smell your best. See ya.